close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll
Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to another show. Listen, I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Big up to the 8 people watching. Do smash the like button and subscribe. But yeah, big up to everybody in the chat. Listen, I'm here to present. This is the review, and then obviously you guys can come on and have your say. The link is in the chat, so if anybody wants to come on and have their say, you can do. You have to be an Arsenal fan, and yeah, you have to obviously be over the age of 18, because YouTube's rules, not mine, but unfortunately that's what it's got to be. But yeah, big up to everybody watching. Do hit the like button, do hit subscribe. I don't even know where to start, to be honest, guys. Another crap performance, let's be honest. It's been shit in it, let's be honest. I don't really know what to say. Obviously, I wasn't at the game. I spent time with my daughter yesterday. I went to a family barbecue, and yeah, I heard the game as I was there, and yeah, it's just the same old rubbish. I know in the first half we had 2 shots on target, and it's just, I don't know. I'm just getting to that point now where the longer this goes on, the longer that Arteta's still manager, it's down to the board. Got to be honest with you guys, it's down to the board. Down to the board for keeping Arteta in the job. It's down to them, guys. They've got to sack Arteta now and get a manager in who can do the job, because they can't keep doing this. Like, they can't keep shortchanging us fans. It's just mad. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. I just don't understand what the fuck is going on at our football club anymore. It's mad. It's mad. You know what I mean? Big up Benjamin. Benjamin, did you honestly see good signs yesterday? Because I didn't see no good signs. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I didn't actually really. I caught the whole game, but it was sort of like I wasn't really focusing on it like I normally do. Like I say, when you got a 7-year-old daughter running around, you've got to run around after, and try and make sure that she doesn't get up to mischief. It's hard to concentrate on football, but yeah, I honestly don't think we played well. I've got to be honest. We had 13, I think is what we had. We had the first 7 minutes we looked good, and then I just don't know. Big up Steve. Gets worse after worse. Club going nowhere. We got Eric. What goal signs Arsenal are pathetic? Grant, yeah. Yeah, it's mad. We do have some missing, says Michael David Reed. Big up to you. Big up Tony. Listen, do you know what I'm gonna do right here? I'm gonna open this up now. So if you guys want to come on and have your say, um, you guys are more than welcome to. If you want to come on, have your say. Obviously, it is a review and a fan's phone in. So what I'm gonna do, because you guys might have watched the game better than I did. So if you want to come on, you don't have to have your camera on. You can come on with just the microphone and stuff on if that's what you want to do. But the only stipulations is you've got to be an Arsenal fan, and or you've got to follow the club, and you've got to obviously you've got to and you've got to just basically say your name, say where you're from, and come on and have your say. Like, the link is in the chat, so obviously I didn't have a chance to pin it to the top of the page. For some reason it wouldn't let me do it. So the link is up there. If you want to come on, click the link and have your say. Obviously I'll keep chatting until somebody is brave enough. But I just don't think we played that well, to be honest. It kind of the same old crap, wasn't it? Let's be honest. The same old rubbish that we've seen. Do you know what I mean? It's just mad. It's just absolutely mad, guys. Right, let's have a look at these comments. Only just so right, let's bring in who have we got here? Hold on. Baird. Let's bring in Nitesh. How you doing, Nitesh?
I'm good. Tell me, Daniel, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. How are things?
With respect to Arsenal or with respect to me?
Well, both. Let's start with yourself first, and then let's come on to Arsenal. How are you, and what did you make of the game yesterday?
See, I just got home. I was chilling with friends. Overall, see, with respect to the game, I think we were already in a bad position, and with all the COVID things that were going around for us, like Ben White also testing positive, and we had some of our players already positive. Aubameyang, thankfully, coming in, like he was like fit at the moment. Finally, I think we were in a state of, you can say, a very bad state, and we tried to an extent to fight Chelsea, but come on, honestly, Chelsea is right now the team to beat. Even Manchester City will have a problem beating Chelsea, because they have one of the best squads. Like, imagine, look at this. You are supposedly you are in a bad state. You have Timo Werner, N'Golo Kante, and the rest of those players on the bench to come on. Which team will be like confident with those kind of players coming in, and the opposition being saying that okay, we'll beat them? It's a very good squad. It's what Roman has been building over the years, and Arsenal did not have the firepower. If you look at our bench, when we did not, things did not work out. We were looking at our bench. We had Lokonga, who's a kid. We had probably, okay, maybe say like a Hector Bellerin, whom no one wants. Apart from that, look at our bench. What do we have? Granit Xhaka is a nobody. Honestly, nobody wants him. Roma didn't take him. Arsenal has to have him because of the options that we couldn't sell him. And we honestly, our bench is depleted. We don't have anyone. If we are losing a game to Chelsea, whom do we bring on? You expect, if you expect the likes of maybe say Lokonga, sorry, not Lokonga, Tavares and all these guys to come in and beat Chelsea, it's not going to happen. We have a very damn poor squad, and you may blame Arteta for it, but at the end of the day, the Kroenkes have not been doing their job for like maybe say 5 or 10 years now, and we can't compete with Chelsea. If someone said that we would beat Chelsea, it would be a very big, you can say, task, and very difficult to beat them. One last thing I just want to say is that Thomas Partey and Gabriel, if these two guys were playing, probably we could have put up a fight. But there wasn't no Thomas Partey in the squad because he's injured. There was no Gabriel in the squad because he's also injured. And with the likes of, you can say, Holding and Pablo Mari and all these guys that we did put up to face Chelsea, it's very difficult to beat them. This
Yeah.
game, if we got something out of it, it would have been a bonus. That's all.
Did you honestly? Let me just come back to you in just 1 second. Michael, you're watching on Facebook, so you'll need to head over to the YouTube channel. It's in the YouTube chat. Kind of didn't post it on Facebook. I posted it in the YouTube chat. So if you're looking for the link, it is there. But the information is on the banner. So if you check out the banner, you should be able to head over and find the link. Do you not think, though, Nitesh, Arteta's to blame for some of this? Because I looked at yesterday and I just didn't see no identity. I didn't see us playing with any identity, and it's just like these there's no structure, there's no fluidity to our game. I just look at a team that's, if I'm being honest, that don't really know what they're doing. Like, I look at these players on the pitch and I just get an idea that they're all running around. That they don't really know what they're doing, and it kind of coincides with the reports that came out about a week ago that players are finding it hard to follow what Mikel Arteta is trying to do in training, and you can see that on the pitch. We saw that against Brentford, and we saw that against Chelsea. Now, I'm not saying that we should have gone and won against Chelsea yesterday because, you know, they are a decent team, but we should have put up more of a performance. And certainly against Brentford, we should have got something out of that game. We should have, you know, they're a beatable team, Brentford, you know, but I just don't see no identity in our play.
See, the thing is, you can say Mikel Arteta is this, Mikel Arteta is that. You can call him shit. I won't say that you're wrong. But the problem is, the simple problem is, if Mikel Arteta's lineup against Chelsea was bad, whom do you bring on? Whom do you get on? Whom do you call on to make a difference? You may say, okay, the lineup was crap, the formation was crap. What do you have on the bench? You have Lokonga, who's playing in midfield. Whom do you bring on instead of him? You got Mohamed Elneny. A lot of people don't want Mohamed Elneny. Okay, instead of Tierney, you want Tavares. Tavares came on. He couldn't do much. If, okay, maybe say, supposingly you want the likes of Martinelli or Saka off, the only one option that you have is Aubameyang. Where are the options? Tell me the options. What is the option? If you look at the Chelsea bench, someone just said, Amandra said that I'm deluded. Look at the Chelsea bench. I'll just give you an example. They got N'Golo Kante, they got Timo Werner, they got a lot of players there whom they can bring on. What do we have? What exactly does Arteta have on the bench? What do we have on the bench? Tell me a game changer. Saka is playing, Martinelli is playing, all of these guys are playing. We have on
You know,
the
you
bench.
say that. You say that
Good.
though, Nitesh.
Yeah.
Um, you say that, and before I come into this, I just want to remind the guys that are joining late. If you do want to come on and have your say, you can do. The link is in the YouTube chat. I couldn't pin it for some weird reason. YouTube wouldn't let me pin it. So if you go now before the chat starts moving, you can grab it and then you can come on. The only stipulation is you have to be an Arsenal fan, and that's pretty much it, really. So yeah, if you want to come on and have your say, if you want to get your points across, you can come on. Nitesh, the thing is, and I completely get you what you're saying. We don't have depth in bench,
Yeah.
but on the bench, but we've had a whole transfer window to sort that out, and we've not done it. All we've done is bought Ben White. Now, listen, I'm not saying that. Listen, the COVID situation is unfortunate. That could happen to any team. So I'm not necessarily taking that into consideration because it happens to any team. But when you've had a whole transfer window and you've just pissed around doing nothing until the latter stages, then you're going to go into a season not fully prepared. And that's what we look a team like that we're not prepared. We just look so unprepared for this season, and honestly, it's just like picking up from last season. I just, I get what you're saying. We don't have the bench to kind of to bring players off, but you've had a whole window to rectify that. And if this board seriously backed Arteta, then they would give him the funds. And when you look at it, we've spent 130 odd million, and we've not improved the team really. When you look at it,
No, I just want to say one thing. I
we
just
had
Good.
we had Ben White, right? We got Ben White. He's obviously out with COVID. If he'd have kept if Arteta had kept Saliba, we could have brought Saliba off. We would have had another defender to bring in. It's all these decisions is just you've got to think of things like that. Listen, we live in COVID times, right? You have to plan for those. You have to get your squad and prepare for any eventuality. I just don't see any preparation whatsoever that's gone into this season, that's gone into anything, and I just don't see this team. I just don't think this team has improved. Listen, coming onto Arteta's system and tactics is a whole different ball game. But if we're looking at it from a player's point of view and we're looking at it from a transfer window, he's had the whole window to go and rebuild this squad. And when you look at it, we've not really rebuilded. We've not really done anything.
Yeah. See, the two things that I want to address is one, Arteta got in a few players. I agree. Who were those players? Ben White, people don't like him. Okay, agreed. Odegaard, another player who's not eligible to play for this game. He's not eligible to play in this game because the club did not register him on time. Now, okay, you might want to blame Arteta for it. Understandable. But actually, it is the club's fault. They should have registered him after the first game. Anyways, Ben White is not there. Odegaard is not there. Who is there? Tierney is there. Understandable. He was there last season as well. Which are the other players? Look at the other players. You are saying Lokonga is there. Lokonga played a good game. According to me, Lokonga was good. Smith Rowe, he signed an extension. He was good. Saka, not up to the mark. Not for me. I don't know what the other people in the chat feel. Saka had a poor game. Martinelli, everyone wanted him into the team, had a very poor game. He was not good. Saka was poor. Martinelli was poor. Okay, forgetting those. The thing was, everyone wanted Arteta to play a 3-4-3. 3-4-3, you need a midfielder like Thomas Partey in your midfield if you want to play a 3-4-3. The formation that was played was because of the fact because Thomas Partey is injured and he's not playing. We cannot survive in the 3-4-3 without a Thomas Partey. Now,
Yeah.
people may argue that Granit Xhaka was given an extension. I'll be honest with you. I am Arteta I'm not denying it. But Granit Xhaka was only given an extension because the club, whether it is Richard Garlick, whether it is Tim, whether it is I forgot the last name, Tim, whether it is Edu, couldn't sell Granit Xhaka for a proper price. That is when they said, okay, we are going to retain Granit Xhaka, and Arteta said he's in my plans. Now, if Granit Xhaka was sold to Roma for the right price, Granit Xhaka would have been gone. Now the thing is, all of these players are playing. Who was your worst player yesterday on the pitch? Probably Pablo Mari and you can say Rob Holding, or maybe even Granit Xhaka. These guys have been fit into the team so that they can be accommodated. If you are talking about proper Arteta players, Lokonga is a player, yes. Smith Rowe is a player, yes. These two were good. Saka was bad, agreed. Martinelli, okay. He was an Arteta player, not an Arteta player, bad. He wasn't good, no denying it. Aubameyang came on. Aubameyang, for the first time in months, looked decent. Now the problem is, decent and average is not going to beat Chelsea. They got in Lukaku, who is firing, who's crazy. They got in they were against a Chelsea team which is very good and active. If last game this was Brentford, the Chelsea game, probably we could have gotten something out of the game. I'll be honest. But the main problem is that Granit Xhaka does not want to be at Arsenal. You and I have had this discussion 2 seasons ago. I was like, Granit Xhaka, get out of the club, get lost. Last season, he had a very good season, and I had to admit it that he was our best midfielder because he was. The problem is there are two players, which is Thomas Partey and and the likes of Thomas Partey, and it is our Tierney, our left back. These two are our best players, without a doubt. But the problem is both Thomas Partey and Tierney are injury prone. Whether our fan base likes it or not, they are. And when I look at these two players, I am reminded of the times when Wenger used to be manager. There used to be an Aaron Ramsey, whom Wenger relied a lot on. He used to be injury prone. Jack Wilshere used to be injury prone. So midfield was gone. He used to rely on, okay, after Ashley Cole was gone, Gail Clichy, Kieran Gibbs, these guys used to be our players there. So the problem is we have a lot of injury prone players whom Arteta is relying on, just like what Wenger was doing. Unfortunately, it's not going to work for him because these guys are very good players. Thomas Partey and Tierney are our best players. But the problem is those guys get injured. Last game, if you see against Chelsea, towards the 70-minute mark, Tierney got injured and he had to be taken off and Tavares was brought on. This is something which I can relate to as deja vu. Now, everyone will say that Tierney is our best player. Tierney is. He may be our best player on the pitch. But the problem is, if your best player on the pitch gets injured every second or third game, can you rely on him for the rest of the season? You may say Arteta is shit. I will not try to debate you on it. But the problem is, our team is built around two injury-prone players. One is Partey, one is Tierney. And no matter how much you say that Partey is good and Tierney is good, unfortunately, these guys get injured every game. There is no guarantee now after that injury against Chelsea that Tierney may start against Manchester City. So I understand what you're saying, Daniel, but the point is that you can say get Arteta out of the club. If tomorrow, say maybe a Graham Potter comes into the club, I'm just taking an example. If you want to mention any other manager, you can. I'm just saying, if a Graham Potter comes into the club, he builds the team around, say, a Thomas Partey. He builds the team around maybe, say, a Kieran Tierney. If these two guys get injured, Graham Potter will have nothing to build his team on, because as Arteta is doing, these will be the two players that he will be relying on. But unfortunately, these two will get injured again, and he'll be confused. What do I do now? I don't have my two main players. I will have to rely on other players who may or may not be as good. That is the main problem at Arsenal.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, I completely get your point about Tierney and Party being injured. I just think you've got to, as a manager, plan for that and make signings to plan for that. And I just don't think Arteta has. I just don't think he has. Listen, guys, the links are in the chat if you want to join. Obviously, you can come off without your camera on. You can come on with just your audio on. So yeah, if you want to have your say, come on and make your points. Yeah, I just look on it and think, and I'm already writing off this season. I got to be honest with you. I'm looking at this and this season's a write off. I've got to be honest. I'm just looking at this season going, well, we're not going to finish in the top 8 this season. We're not gonna definitely get into Europe. This season is just an absolute write off. It's the thing that worries me the most is that every game we play, I just don't see any signs of things turning around. I don't see any signs of, like, under Wenger, his latter stages, even his worst season, you could see like there was hope in some games. I just don't see no hope under Arteta. I don't see none of this changing. I don't see glimmers of hope in these games.
Yeah, I'll just say one thing. You know why you don't see any glimmer of hopes under Arteta? Is because under Wenger used to be like, okay, I'll back the board, they'll back me. We have a very good squad. We can probably get something out of it. The problem since Unai Emery and since Arteta is the board says, we'll get you players that you want. We are going to be supportive of you. But the other thing is, if you mess up in any way, at that point of time, under Wenger, they used to be like, okay, we are backing you. If you mess up, we'll give you a player or give you a player or two. Under Arteta, if that is the attitude, like if you mess up, we'll give you a player or two and we'll help you, there will be a couple of signings before the end of the window.
Yeah.
If there is no hope, like the board doesn't care, because Josh Kroenke was at that Chelsea game. If there is no hope at all, then you need to understand from now until the end of the window, there will be no more signings. Unai Emery was trolled by the fans. He was trolled by the players in the dressing room. He was bantered. He wasn't liked. There was no hope for him. No one liked him. I was like manager in, because I knew that this manager can probably win us the Europa League and get us into Champions League. You remember, you can check my videos on your channel, Daniel. I was still backing Unai Emery. Even you know it. I was still saying Emery in, and there was laughter and trolling going around, because I knew that if we replace Emery, we'll get someone worse. The club has no idea about how to replace a manager. They did that. They replaced Emery. They bought in Lumberg. They did not back him. Then they got in Arteta, and it's gone from good, bad, worse. It's gone to worse. I will not deny it. But the thing is, now if they sack Arteta, it will again be like Arteta is the good. They will go to a bad, and then they'll go to a worse. People may say that we'll get a better manager. Anyone is a better manager than Arteta. You remember the times, you can check out your own videos, Daniel, when I said sacking Unai Emery right now is no good. We'll go, it will be bad. And that is what happened. I am saying the same thing. Sacking Mikel Arteta is no good, because the management and the club will mess it up even further. You may say that there will be Graham Potter coming in. A lot of people think Graham Potter will come into Arsenal. He'll take over and he'll change things around. I am telling you, if tomorrow Mikel Arteta is sacked, Graham Potter may come in. He's not going to be properly backed. And the reason, you want to know the reason why? Because Mikel Arteta was one of their guys. He was one of the guys that Josh Kroenke wanted as Arsene Wenger's replacement. He's not, if he can't back a guy like Mikel Arteta, what will he back a guy like Graham Potter, whom he doesn't even care about or know? So the thing is, I do not disagree that maybe Mikel Arteta could be sacked in the next few weeks. But then I'm being honest with you guys, be very careful what you ask for. Because if Mikel Arteta is sacked, they may fool around like they did with Emery, Lumberg, Arteta. They may fool around. Arteta, maybe Mertesacker, maybe I don't know who, some random guy, and then
I
probably
think we need
they
to
end-
take a different. I think we need to take a different
But-
direction. Instead of trying to get a manager to do
Yeah.
a bloody project, get a manager that can deliver in the short term. Get us back, because I'm not against the project, right? Yeah, but what we
Yeah.
need right now is a manager that can come in, get us back into Europe, get us back into get us back up their table, get a short-term manager in. Then when the club is in a more stable position, when we have Champions League football, when we have the money come in, then if you want to build a project, get someone in long term. But you can't do that. You can't build a project now and expect the manager to get us straight back into Europe, expect us to climb up the table, because the problem we've got is if we don't catch up in the short term, there are teams ahead of us. Even this summer, you look at the likes of Chelsea and you look at the likes of Man United, they've all strengthened. So that if we're not careful, teams are going to pull away from us and we're just going to get left behind. So we need a manager who's got pedigree, who can come in, get us up to back in Europe, get us up the table, maybe in and around that top four. Then, if you want to go and get your long-term project manager, do that. I'll be quite happy for that to happen. Also, get someone in with experience, because clearly Arteta hasn't got any experience, and I don't see that happening. I don't see that them going down that road. But look, if they don't, it's only going to get worse.
See, that is the thing. That is the thing. I was like, I didn't want Emery to be sacked, and not completely, but I didn't want Emery to be sacked at that point of time, like mid-season, because the problem was, one sec. Sorry,
Yeah,
because the problem was,
So yeah, guys, don't forget the link is in the chat if you want to come on. Come on, you got a lot to say in the chat. You guys come on. You guys the link is here. You guys asked for the fans phone-in show, so here it is. If you guys want to come on, the link is there. It's what you guys asked for.
Sorry, Daniel. The reason I was saying, the reason I did not want Emery sacked at that point of time was because there was no manager linked with Arsenal. There was no one at all linked with Arsenal. I realized that the board has not, you can say, approached any manager. They do not know anyone who's going to come in, and there are just randomly rumors coming in that Unai Emery is going to be sacked at that point. So what they did eventually, they sacked him, no doubt about it. But they bought in Freddie Ljungberg with no backroom staff, and then they got in Mikel Arteta. So if anyone blames Mikel Arteta for that poor season, you got it wrong. Like finishing 8th 2 seasons ago, I'm not saying last season, I'm saying 2 seasons ago, is not Arteta's fault. Why? Because there was no damn backroom staff when Ljungberg was let go of, and when Arteta came in, he was just left there to do whatever he can. Now the thing is, last season Arteta did not have a good season. Why? He said, I want to They did not give him OR. They gave him Thomas Partey at the end. Cool. He finished 8th. First half of the season without a creative midfielder, it was bad. Second half of the season with Emil Smith Rowe and the likes of Odegaard, it was better. Now the thing is, this season we have had in the last 2 games. I'm just saying last 2 games. Ben White is out. Aubameyang wasn't fit. Lacazette wasn't fit. Who else? Eddie Nketiah is injured. Who else has COVID? Okay, Thomas Partey has injuries. COVID, Willian and Runarsson, forget them. Those guys, no one want to talk about. But overall, Aubameyang and Lacazette were COVID positive, and they had an issue. Now the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, these 2 games were tough. If you remember 2 seasons ago, when Unai Emery took over, the first game was against Man City, the second game was against Chelsea. Unai Emery lost both. Now this time we had a game against Brentford as well, which we lost, which we shouldn't have. The thing is, now if the 2 games were lost 2 seasons ago, and I'd say 3 games are lost this season ago. Unai Emery 2 seasons ago lost 2 games, and he had the chance. He had 8 games to finish in the top 4, but unfortunately, he couldn't. Mikel Arteta has lost 3 games. Like the 3rd game is coming up in the Premier League. 2 are lost, 1 more League Cup and 1 more Premier League. He may lose the 3rd one as well. He may still have 6 or 7 games to finish in the top 4 if the season is as crazy as the one that Unai Emery had. I'm not saying it's going to be, but I'm saying it can possibly be. The thing is, if some of the Arteta in fans said that, okay, let's give Mikel Arteta 10 games to prove his worth, this will be game number 3 against Man City, and there are 7 games. If you said he's going to get maybe say 15 points or 10 points or 12 points, whatever, if he gets those by the end of 10 games, I don't think you have a reason to complain. Because the Brentford loss, yes, it is a loss, but there are more games in the top 10, in the first 10 games, that he can win. If he doesn't deliver, then obviously you guys have a right to say, okay, he's been bad, he's not worth it, and we should get rid of him. If you remember, Daniel, I'm talking to you about this. Unai Emery lost his first 2 games, which are Man City and Chelsea as well. Yes, he scored a couple of goals, I think, against Chelsea. He didn't score anything against Man City. At that point, did you think he would finish in the top 4 or top 5?
No, but I saw a little bit of fight from an Unai Emery's team. I don't see this from Arteta's team. All I see is just a group of players running around kicking a football with no, like I said, there's no fluidity, there's no direction. There's nothing. I just don't see the players. Just look so. It looks like a guy with no experience is trying to run Arsenal Football Club, and obviously that's what's happening. Trying to manage Arsenal football team. That's what I'm seeing right now. That's what I'm seeing. Let me just. I just want to pause a second because Steve is waiting backstage. So let's bring in. There you go. Hi, Steve. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Yeah, how are you doing, fella? All right?
Yeah, not too bad.
I ain't spoke to you since, was it the Euros, wasn't it? We was on watch along to that.
What did you make of it yesterday? I know you've been backstage. What do you make of what Nitesh said, and what do you make of?
Yeah, I agree with everything he said. I agree with him, But I mean, it was a total shit show again yesterday, really, wasn't it? Let's be honest, nothing new, is it? Let's be honest. But yesterday, I mean, everyone knows this man's out of his depth. I mean, when's he going to be put down? That's what I want to know, and shipped out of this team. I mean, I'm mainly Brentford now. I'm not with Arsenal much now, Daniel. But
so you've turned your back on Arsenal.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Nitesh. So what?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you: do Do you think Arteta can turn this around?
See, at the end of the day, my problems are two. One, can Arteta turn this around? Yes or no? The other problem is
No.
if Arteta is sacked, the manager that they bring in, will that manager be backed? I was against sacking Unai Emery. The reason was because
Yeah.
I knew if they sack Unai Emery, they'll bring in someone whom they may or may not back, and they'll make it worse. Now, some of the fans in the chat may say they made it worse. Again, the same question arises: if they sack Mikel Arteta, will they make it better or will they make it worse? I again feel if they sack Mikel Arteta, they have backed him and they will make it worse. If they bring in, say, maybe a Graham Potter, which a few people say, if they say
Yeah.
bring, an Eddie Howe, which some people say, will they back him?
Yeah.
I think so.
No.
I don't think at all. They will tell a Graham Potter or an Eddie Howe, this is what we have. You need to work with this. If you can get us results, then you are coming to Arsenal. If you can't,
Your hands are tied, basically.
if you can't get us results, we don't want you at Arsenal. We'll stick with Mikel
Yeah.
Arteta. So this is not just a manager problem. When I say I am Arteta in, it's not because I feel that Arteta is world class or he's the next Pep Guardiola. It's always been because when I was Emery in as well, I was saying that if they are sacking Unai Emery tomorrow, these guys have no plan at the club. Josh Kroenke doesn't know a thing about Arsenal. He comes to the stadium. He came to the stadium for the Chelsea game. He has no idea what is going on. He must be asking everyone else, should I do this? Should I do that? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Do you think this is good for business? Do you think that is good for business? That is what his questions must be. Now, if people say that Josh Kroenke is at the stadium, he should sack Arteta. He'll sack Arteta tomorrow. He may probably not even consider Graham Potter and maybe Eddie Howe as a replacement. He may go in. He's not going to get N'Golo Kante. Please don't. Sorry, not N'Golo Kante. Antonio Conte. It's been too much alcohol. Sorry.
Hey, listen, we had a chance to get N'Golo Kante, and
I know.
they went and signed Granit Xhaka. So
no, I apologize. It's been too much alcohol.
What a great choice that was.
No, it's been too much. It's been too much of the Indian rum. My bad. But it's not going to be Antonio Conte. He's not going to get Antonio Conte. I'll tell you the reason why. Antonio Conte was available right through the summer. He was available through the summer. All they had to do was promise him that, Conte, we will give you the backing, we will give you the money, we will do whatever you want. Just come to Arsenal and take over. They did not. Conte is still jobless. He's been jobless for almost 6 months now. You think that if the Arsenal board wanted Antonio Conte, they wouldn't have gotten Antonio Conte? You think he would be just sitting there?
Do you know the thing is, right? I think they wanted to give Arteta one transfer window, one summer transfer window. And I genuinely, I stand by what I said on Friday. I said that Arteta ain't going to finish the season as Arsenal manager. And I do genuinely believe that. I think it's just a question of when, not if. Honestly, when you lose the dressing room, you ain't getting it back. You know, you ain't getting the dressing room back. Once you've lost it, it's gone. It isn't happening, and I genuinely believe Arteta's lost the dressing room.
It's like, Daniel, have you ever seen that film The Deer Hunter? You ever seen that with Robert De Niro and whatever, and Christopher Walken and whatever?
Yeah, I've not seen.
You probably haven't. But there's a part in it, there's a scene in it where they do that roulette thing with the gun. Like there's a bullet in the gun, right, and they have to turn the barrel, the chamber, right, and they have to keep putting it against their head, right, the gun, and they're pulling the trigger every time, and the bullet's missing. That could be with Arteta. You know, when's he going to find the bullet? You know, in the gun. You know, I think everyone's wishing that. You know.
But, see, I'm not worried about the bullet. The thing that I'm worried is who pulls the trigger. If it is Arteta, Is he being backed? If it is someone else, like an Antonio Conte, is he being backed? If you're not,
Let me
being
tell you
backed-
something.
Go
Let
ahead,
me
Dan.
tell you something now, right? Yeah. If Antonio Conte walks into this team, we'll be back in the top four within about a season and a half. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something, right? Yeah. If this board backs Antonio Conte the way he backs Arteta, and they have backed Arteta, because let's make no mistake about it, the option to re-sign Granit Xhaka was down to Arteta. The option to sign Ramsdale was down to Arteta. The option to sign Ben White was down to Arteta.
Then shot it.
And
Granit
the
Xhaka,
option to who is the other one to sign Odegaard. Now I genuinely do think Odegaard might prove to be a good signing, but that's one out of three,
I'm
4,
not
or
sure.
5.
No,
When-
but how Granit Xhaka? I want to ask you how Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka, the club failed to sell him to AS Roma at anything over 10 million. When
Yeah, and then
failed
they
to
went
sell
and
him,
then they went and extended his contract because
Why
they
did they-
couldn't sell him. They went and
Yes.
Well,
extended
just
his
take the money.
contract.
Just take the
One second,
money
one
in.
second. One second. I
selling.
just want to address Daniel's comment there. Yes, the reason they have extended Granit Xhaka's contract is because the club, which is Richard Garlick, you can say Tim, whatever his surname is. I'm too drunk to remember his surname.
Yeah.
And Edu failed to sell Granit Xhaka, and Arteta had to come out and say that Granit Xhaka is in my plans. If Granit Xhaka would have been sold for maybe say 20 odd million, Granit Xhaka would have been gone. He would have been a Roma player. And the same
Why did
thing-
you pay 20 million?
One thing. I just want to add one
Yeah,
thing.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing,
Daniel,
though.
one last thing. The same thing has happened with Mohamed Elneny. They have failed to sell him, and Arteta has been forced to come out and say that Mohamed Elneny is in my plans. He was on the transfer list, and they wanted to sell him right through the summer. They failed to do that because the deal did not work out. Chris Wheatley came out and said that the deal has not worked out, and now he's going to be staying at Arsenal. This is what happened with Xhaka. This is what happened with Elneny. This is sorry.
But
this
you
is
don't
what happened
extend
with
the
some other
contract. You don't extend the contracts.
No, the
You
extension
don't
is 1
do
year.
that. You
With
don't.
Granit
Do,
Xhaka,
yeah,
it's
but
1
you
year.
don't. Yeah, but you
Yes,
don't do
good.
that. If he's not in your plans and you're quite willing to sell them, how are you going to do a complete U-turn
Yeah.
and extend the contracts? Remember what
Yeah, I
Granit
agree.
Xhaka. Remember what Granit Xhaka done. And then what do
Yeah.
I see? First game against Brentford. Oh, he's wearing the captain's armband again. You just don't
that's
do
bollocks.
things like that. It's
Yeah.
just mad.
That's bullshit. Why do that? You knew what he'd done. He told us to fuck off. He told everyone to fuck off. That is not right.
Daniel,
Yeah.
come on, Daniel. There is a video on your own channel where you were saying, when I was saying that Granit Xhaka should have been sold to Hertha Berlin, you were saying that Arteta didn't have a choice but to keep him because we were not signing anyone. Now I'm not
Yeah.
Yeah,
trying to
because
poke you
at
into
that time, because at that time,
yeah.
I said it at that time. I said Arteta was new in the job.
Yes,
I said
yes,
at that
agreed.
time,
Yeah.
6 months. I said keep him until the summer because don't forget Arteta took. And anybody who knows me knows that when Arteta first come in, I gave him a chance, and
Agreed.
you know
Yeah.
I did back him, but.
Yeah.
But when you come first into a job, everyone knows that everyone gets a clean slate. Do you know what I mean? It's the same anywhere. A manager's not going to walk in to a job and just not give everyone a clean slate. So I said keep him until the summer. But when obviously it's clearly not worked out, and
That's right.
we're like a year and a half on from that, and yet we've not really
Agreed.
fixed any of the issues. We've not really fixed any of the issues. We finished 8th 2 seasons in a row. And
Yeah.
that's the other thing, right? Yeah. When a top club like Arsenal finishes 8th 2 seasons
It's a
in a
failure.
row, you do
Disaster.
all what you can. You do all what you can to make this team better. If you've got to throw money at it, then you throw money at it. Look at Chelsea when they finished outside of Europe, they were there one season because they
Yeah.
spent money. They won the league, and then they were back to where
Agreed,
they were
agreed.
belong. Look, do you actually think we're gonna do a Chelsea this season? I don't. I
No.
think
No,
right.
no.
Yeah. Let me be honest. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna probably upset a whole load of Arsenal fans by saying this,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't be surprised if we're in that relegation zone. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
I have got to be brutally honest and say that the way we are playing right now is relegation form. Got to be honest. I don't see where the wins are coming from. I don't see where the goals are coming from. We've had 2 or 3 shots on target in one half. I don't even think we had many shots on target in the second half yesterday.
Yeah.
I look at that, and that is relegation form. I've got to be honest, relegation form. And if Arsenal fans sit there thinking we're Arsenal Football Club, we ain't going to get relegated. Well, let me say this: wake the fuck up, because just because we're
Yeah.
Arsenal Football Club, we ain't above relegation. We ain't above all that. And if we're not careful, if we don't get our act together soon, we're going to be in a whole world of trouble.
Yeah. Be realistic. Come on.
Yeah,
They're delusional,
listen,
often, Dan.
there's loads of you watching. The links are in the chat if you want to come on and have your say. You guys asked for this fans phone, and you guys come on. You don't have to have your camera on. You can come on with just the mic. So if you want to come in and join the chat,
Yeah, come on, everyone. It's just
You
me and
guys
Nitish
asked
at the moment. Come
Yeah,
on.
come on,
everyone.
I said
Good.
this as well. If this doesn't work this time, I ain't doing this fans phoning thing again, because
Come on,
Yeah.
this is
was
three
No.
times. This is 3 times I've
Good.
done it. You guys asked for it, and then when I took it away, you guys asked for
Yeah.
it. I brought it back. I said, if it doesn't work this time, I'm scrapping it, so there won't
No.
be a return.
I'll be honest. I was drinking, and I'm having my second donut after alcohol, after rum. So I'm kind of fine, and you guys can definitely be fine. Come on. I am not with my camera on, but you guys can obviously have a conversation. Daniel is here.
Yeah.
I apologize. I don't remember your name from the Brentford fan is here, who's just coming.
Yeah, I'm King Tony.
King
yeah.
Tony.
Yeah.
Okay, King Tony is here. He's here.
Yeah.
Come on, you guys.
And
can definitely
I
come
said,
on. Good,
I
good.
said strictly to Arsenal fans, but seeing as Steve, you're kind of half Arsenal and half
Well,
Brentford, you
yeah.
kind of fall into
He
the
was
Arsenal
half Arsenal.
category as well.
Yeah, not quite Arsenal anymore, Dan, but not until they change from this circus team, mate. When it's not a circus anymore.
Steve, King Tony, whatever your name is, I appreciate you coming on, and I think a lot of other people can definitely come on as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cheers, Nick.
No, I
Cheers.
appreciate you coming on. But yeah, guys, come on, click on the link. The links are in the chat.
But again, I just want to say one thing. See, the problem is, okay, that second donut is getting into my mouth. Sorry about that. But the thing I want
The
to say is,
donuts are there, mate. All right.
I don't actually have donuts, but okay, this
Yeah.
is like an alter case, whatever you want to say, one off day. But anyways, the point is we should have beaten Brentford. Chelsea is a Champions League winning squad. If we got something out of that game, every Arsenal fan would have been proud. But look at the situation we were in. Now again, West Brom is a game that we should be winning. If Mikel Arteta delivers there, Manchester City is a game, again, we should be fighting for. I'm not saying winning, I'm saying fighting for. So at least keep your patience for the first 7 or 10 games, whatever you were going to keep with Mikel Arteta. If he does not deliver in those 10 games, maybe say 10 games, if he's not getting maybe say 15 to 20 points in those 10 games, anyone who says Mikel Arteta out, I can understand and agree with them. But right now, see, if you have seen the situation that Arsenal was in before the Brentford game. We were trying to get it postponed. Why? Because our players were COVID positive, they were ill.
Mm.
Okay. You want to say Arteta fucked up? I say Arteta fucked up. The Brentford game is a loss.
Yeah.
Chelsea game, it was 50-50. Okay, not even 50-50, 70-30. We were expected to lose.
Yeah.
We could have fought better. Maybe some of them will say, okay, we lost the game. Man City again, trust me, people will not agree to this, but in their hearts, they will say, okay, we
Yeah.
don't deserve to beat Man City. We may not beat Man City. But
No.
after the Man City game, if we are still losing our games, then anyone can proudly say Arteta out. And even the Arteta in fans will probably say, okay, there is no denying it that we have, okay, the first 3 games were difficult because of what has happened with Brentford, obviously because of the COVID, not because they are a tough team in general, but because of what was the situation. And Brentford played well, giving them credit.
Yeah, thanks.
The second and the third game, they were tough opponents. Unai Emery, two years ago, lost his 2 games against City and Chelsea. So losing to them, it's nothing shameful. But if we are losing after City, which is like Norwich and all these teams, if we're losing, I think it's Burnley or some of the other teams, if you're losing to them, every Arsenal fan, whether Arteta in, Arteta out, whatever, Arteta neutral, has a reason to complain. We should not be losing those games, not just because they are small teams, but because we have played good football in the last 2 or 3 games, according to me. You may not agree to that, but if we are losing to those teams, I will agree with you that Arteta needs to go, and you need to agree with me that we do not play bad football. If we win, we deserve to win. And then you need to look
Can
at what
I
happens further in the season.
I just need to pause a second because
Sure.
there's someone else backstage. Let's bring in Danny. Hiya,
Hello?
Danny. Hello,
Hi,
Danny.
Danny.
Are
Well,
you?
mate.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Hold
mate.
on. What did you make of it yesterday?
You hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you. What did you make of it yesterday, mate?
The joke that is. Look, I've been saying for years that, to be honest, we're on massive decline. Like, this is the worst Arsenal I've ever seen, to be honest. Like, I've supported Arsenal since 1999. Like, remember that hat trick Kanu got? You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've fell in love with Arsenal since, and I've seen us win trophies, challenge for titles, got everything. But look at us now. Since about 8 years now, we've been in massive decline since Van Persie left, and now we've just, I don't know. It's football shit. Everything's just shit now. This football club, and it's just a shame. It's a shame we're not challenging nothing. You know.
Yeah. Do you think? Do you think Arteta should? Do you think Arteta should go? Where do you stand on Arteta?
Well, my opinion, I always put on the players. Like our managers, yeah, I think Arteta should go. Yeah, he's too inexperienced, you know. But the main thing, I want world class players at this club. You know, I look back at the Henry's, Van Persie's, you know, going on Vieira's. I look at the players then and the players now. It's just, I want world class players at this club. Obviously, the manager as well. I like it, obviously quality manager, but the main thing, get world class players in the club. And it's something we haven't had for a while. I just think all our players are overrated. And, you know, Aubameyang now, a lot of people might have a go at me for this, but I don't rate Aubameyang at all. I wanted him out since Baku. And, like, he's like the reason I go on about Aubameyang, because everyone seems to hype him up so well, like, you know. And I just want world-class players at this club, you know, like proper, like you see Henry, Van Persie. You just look at our team back 10 years ago, and that team will completely destroy the team we have now. That's a fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who would you get in to replace Aubameyang? Who would you get in if obviously Aubameyang does go, and there are reports linking him today suggesting that he could go. But who would you get in to replace him?
This is your big
it's hard
moment.
to say now. Go ahead. Yeah, up to it. Sorry, I just cut off for there a second. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just kidding, and I was saying that this is your big moment, the Aubameyang replacement. Everyone.
Go on, is it Danny? Yeah, carry on, mate. What you were saying? Is it Danny, the new guy? Come in.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, sorry. Just I cut off there
Yeah,
a second. Went a bit dodgy, so just bear with me there. Yeah, I was
No
saying.
worries.
I was just saying about about world class players. We'll talk about Aubameyang and everything. I want to know where you lot sit with Aubameyang. Do you rate him a lot?
No, I think he's gone off the boil, to be honest. I don't know what it is. It might be with Arteta, might be something like that. But he's on a lot of money as well. To do nothing. He come on yesterday, and what did he do? At the end of it, and he's supposed to be our captain.
And last year, last season,
he had a decent run last game
nothing
against Chelsea.
Yeah.
He does nothing. No, it's just the love fest for this guy. I just, every time I see him, I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of fans out there, but I just don't see it with this guy. I even have people comparing him with Henry, Van Persie, Bergkamp.
Nothing.
That
Nowhere
is the
near.
biggest insult to them. The biggest insult to Henry and Bergkamp when they put him on the same level as them. It's just a joke.
Yeah. No way. That is a joke. It is a joke.
Yeah.
I just
See. Do you know the thing is where I stand on Aubameyang? Is that I actually think, look, he was a good player, and I've always championed Aubameyang.
I know
because I do believe that there's something there, but I genuinely believe, and I've got to be honest, right? Yeah, I genuinely believe that it is time for Aubameyang to go. And I genuinely believe that part of his decline is not just down to him, but down to Arteta. This guy has no tactics.
Exactly.
This guy, and the only reason I say that, is because on Friday against Brentford last week, opening game of the season, last season, right? Yeah, everyone was calling for Martinelli and Balogun to start last season, and they started. And they did nothing. And what I saw was two good players playing in a system that doesn't suit them. They were playing in a system that completely, that Arteta he's just ruining decent players.
Yeah. Ruining the youngsters, isn't it?
I don't know, but also, I want to say, guys, that, you can put on the manager about the players to come, but I always say the players got to take responsibility. Simple as that. Like they want to win. I don't need a manager telling you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you want it for yourselves, and that's what I don't see. I just don't see these players. Some of these players just not bothered. Just happy to take the money and whatever comes. No one goes.
And there I agree. There I agree. The first game, Balogun was playing as a striker. Martinelli was playing on the wings. He wasn't playing in a position that he doesn't know. I did not see anything from them in the Brentford game. Okay, one game, not denying that. Nicolas Pepe, everyone was like, this is Pepe's season. This is Pepe's season. He had a decent game against Chelsea, but where are the goals and the assists? Where are those goals and assists? Okay, people will say, okay, it's just been 2 games. Pepe just had 2 bad games. Okay, like he had 1 decent game. He had 1 bad game. No one can blame him. Just 2 games. This is what I was crying out loud the entire last season. Pepe does not score or assist in games where he's under pressure. He only plays in games where there is no zero pressure. He scores goals, he assists goals, he does everything you want. He did everything you wanted in the Europa League. He did everything you wanted when the season was over in the Premier League in the last 4 or 5 games. He doesn't do it in the games where there is actual pressure on Arsenal. What is his major problem? He has 0 body strength. Today and yesterday we were discussing in a group chat on Twitter. If Pepe had half the body strength that Romelu Lukaku has, and he could have probably dominated some of the play for Arsenal, he could have been another level of play, another level of forward play or attacking play for Arsenal. But unfortunately, he has no body strength. He can't take on defenders. I will just tell one thing. If anyone thinks that I am a Pepe hater, Last two games, Brentford and Chelsea. Go watch those games. Pepe is supposed to be a player who does take-ons, who goes, who puts the ball, you can say, on the side of the defender and makes a run and gets tripped or probably gets a foul on him. How many free kicks in the opposition half do we have had in those last two games? In Brentford, one. In Chelsea game, I don't even remember. Just go and look. If a player is supposed to be, you can say, physically a little strong,
Yeah.
he's supposed to be like the guy who takes on defenders. Where are the free kicks in the opposition half? You won't find any. The only free kick or the talking point of the game, the Chelsea game, was Bukayo Saka going down in the Chelsea box. That was the talking point. Where
Yeah.
are free kicks coming in from Pepe, who likes to take free kicks? He's strong on his left foot. There are no take-ons. He is supposed to be a winger. If you're calling him a winger or a player who is very skilled, he likes to take on the opposition players. Where are those free kicks or where are those fouls coming in? I don't see any.
Yeah.
If you can see any, do tell me about it. This is the guy some of the fans were saying is going to be the player who's going to have his season of his career in the Premier League. This is going to be
Yeah.
Pepe's season. I don't see it.
I don't think he's 72 million either.
Yeah,
I think that might be weighing heavy on his shoulders, the money as well, you know, how much he costs. 'Cause he's not really 70 odd million, is he? When you look at him.
No,
70 odd million, he's
But
not
the-
even worth
like-
30 million.
Yeah.
no, the bottom line is these players are just like our fans now as well hype up a lot of our players. I mean, some of our other players now. I remember that little run we had last season from after we beat Chelsea, and went on a nice run.
Yeah.
We were playing like bottom teams. We're playing bottom teams, and you know we're playing like West Brom. We got a win there, and Newcastle.
Yeah, it's only West
It's been some
Brom.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only West Brom. It's only Newcastle. Then we'll come
Yeah.
up against proper oppositions. He's playing knowledge. Like that Man City match was one of the worst match I've ever seen. Okay, we only lost 1-0, but that doesn't matter to me. The performance was just
Yeah.
shocking. I've watched that.
Woeful.
Even non-existent. These players that everyone hypes up to be like, you know, like Odegaard and everyone, all the new Mesut Ozil, Real Madrid, and Aubameyang. Everyone saying, "Oh, this is Aubameyang." I remember they were all saying, "Aubameyang is back. He's back. Got a hat trick against Leeds and that." I'm up there. This is what I really judge play on the big boys, because if we're going to challenge for the best, we've got to beat the best,
Yeah.
and they're non-existent, and that's noise shit.
I'll
out of me, to be
I'll
honest.
just tell you one
Yeah.
more funny
Right.
thing. I'll just tell you one more funny thing. If any other player does not perform against a team like maybe say Chelsea where they're losing, people will talk about the guy didn't score goals, the guy didn't have any assists. You know what was the talking point about Pepe in the game against Chelsea? Can anyone please share me that video of that nutmeg that he did? The nutmeg that he did, and that is what was the talking point for Pepe. And no one is bothered about the fact that Pepe didn't score a goal. No one is bothered about the fact that Pepe didn't assist the goal. No one is bothered about the fact that Pepe didn't draw fouls on him.
In
the
fairness to
opposition half.
Pepe, though, like all
He
last
had a decent
season,
game.
all
Good.
last season he's been playing with a shit right back in Bellerin. So
True.
in fairness to Pepe, he needs support. He can't do it all on. You know, if we're expecting him to be better offensively, he needs someone behind him who he can trust. Because let's be honest, if I was Pepe, I wouldn't trust Bellerin as far as I could throw him.
Yeah, Bellerin there. You're shitting yourself, aren't you? With Bellerin
No,
there.
then I have one thing to ask you. Pepe's best games came when Callum Chambers was the right back towards the end of the season. Callum Chambers was the right back when Pepe enjoyed a lot of freedom. He had his fun. He was doing things for Arsenal. When I said at the start of the season that I feel that Callum Chambers will be our first choice right back, the Arsenal fan base was like, "No, that guy is shit. We don't want him. We don't want Bellerin. We don't want Callum Chambers.
Yeah.
That guy is equally bad. We don't want him." If everyone
Yeah, we
is
don't.
saying-
Callum Chambers isn't the greatest either. Like,
Agreed.
I think we should be
He's
moving
better
away.
than Bellerin.
Look, let me tell you something, right? Yeah, there is a player who Arsenal could go and get who would fit that
Aarons.
position perfectly. Exactly, Max Aarons. He's a quality
Yeah.
right back. He would fit right into this Arsenal side, and we could probably get him for about 25 to 30 million. But yet instead,
Why are you doing it?
Arteta would rather spend 50 million on Ben White when we've already got a centre back We just
Yeah.
I
loaned
know.
him out
That
again.
made no sense. No sense.
Yeah.
No, William.
Signing's
Okay,
a joke.
let
That's
me
why I
not get
think
into
that I
the
want-
Saliba deal. No, I just want to say one thing. I get what you're saying about Max Aarons. I get what you're saying about William Saliba. Let's not get into that. I am talking about the fact that okay, we had Callum Chambers under with whose assistance, like who Callum Chambers playing right back, Pepe looked a different player last season. I'm just saying last season in the second half, Pepe looked a different player. So the thing was, if Callum Chambers would have again started off as right back, he had a very bad game against Brentford. I'm not denying it,
He
but I'm
did.
saying
Yeah.
why is the fan base not ready to back Callum Chambers after his performances in the last half or the second half of the last season, when he has shown that when he is playing as a right back,
Yeah.
he looks decent, and Pepe gets a lot more freedom. The thing is, people are ready to back the likes of Pepe, saying that this guy was brilliant in the second half of the season. Even Callum Chambers had a very good second half of the season. But the problem is, fans are not ready to back him. Fans want a first choice right back just go to replace him, even though Callum Chambers also proved that he was good with Pepe on his wing, and they both linked up well together. Hector Bellerin, no one is defending him. Get him out of the club. I'm not defending him. Granit Xhaka, I did not defend him. I was saying he was our best midfielder last season. He could have been sold, but unfortunately, the deal with Roma did not happen. Cedric, I don't know what he's doing in our team, but okay, we have a few freebies. We have a few freebies like El Neni and Cedric and stuff, and Willian. We can't do anything about it. The thing is, we should try to sell them, no doubt about it. But the thing was, Callum Chambers was good. He looked good, but still, the fan base is like, what the same reaction to Martin Odegaard. They want Odegaard not to come to Arsenal. They want Ramsdale not to come to Arsenal. I personally don't want Ramsdale to come to Arsenal, but I'm not going to go on his Instagram profile and say Ramsdale fuck off and don't come to Arsenal and stuff. I'm going to say, if you're coming to Arsenal, you better start performing. And yesterday, I could see a difference in Leno's performance. I could see an improvement just because Ramsdale called him out 2 days ago. So the thing is, with Callum Chambers, if the fan base would have kind of backed him and said, okay, if he doesn't perform, we want him out, it is understandable. But based on last year's performance, at least Callum Chambers was doing something. And now we have players like Bellerin, Cedric, even Chambers not doing what he's supposed to do. And our right back position looks better than it was supposed to be from last season.
See, the thing is, as far as it goes to clearing out the dead wood, no teams really are falling over themselves to get them, are they? These players, nobody wants them, and you can see why, because they're not good enough.
Exactly.
Nobody really wants Xhaka. Nobody really wants Belling.
Yeah. So, guys, listen.
What world-class players are going to come here as well? Like,
Yeah. I completely
Champions League as well.
I completely get your point. Guys, listen, we've been going for an hour, or just over an hour, but I want to go around each of you in turn. We've obviously got West Brom on Wednesday and then Man City. So I want to ask you guys, and I'll go around each of you in turn, starting with Nitesh. Then I'll go to you, Steve. Then I'll go to you, Danny. What do you guys think will win against West Brom? And if we don't win, do you think Arteta should go before Man City? I'll start with you, Nitesh.
I think West Brom should be finished by Arsenal, like I finished my alcohol and the 2 donuts that I was having. But yeah, at the end of the day, obviously, as I said, it should be a win-win for us. If I'll just say this, if it was Big Sam, I would be more confident, because Big Sam has been pathetic in the recent years. And if it was him, I would be more confident. But obviously, it's West Brom at the end of the day. I'm still confident about it. So I think we should be winning that. But at the end of the day, I feel that it will be a 3-4-3 that we'll be playing. We'll be trying to experiment, because Kieran Tierney is not going to be fit. He'll be probably on the bench or not at all in the squad. So it's going to be a 3-4-3, and hopefully we win that game, because sorry, it's a League Cup. We should be winning it, and we should be winning that game and going into the Man City game with a lot of confidence. That's all.
Yeah, Steve, do you think we'll win on Wednesday against West Brom?
Steve
you
just
guys?
Steve's
dropped
gone,
out.
has he?
Steve just dropped out.
I think he's
He
dropped
just dropped
out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Danny, do you think we'll win on Wednesday?
I've no confidence. I'm never confident of this team now, to be honest. But Carling Cup, or Carabao Cup, I should say, should be anything can happen. But what one thing, and you say should Arteta be sacked? Look, Arteta should be sacked a long time ago. Simple as that, because of how big clubs act. You know, obviously I'm mainly focused on the players, but for the way big club acts, you know, he should be sacked a long time ago. And whether what happens, I don't think he will be sacked anyway. So, at West Brom, I really don't know. But Man City, I think we'll get thrashed. Simple as that. Nothing surprises me anymore. Simple as that, Daniel. I've got nothing
Yeah.
else to add to that.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. So Nitesh, you didn't give your Man City prediction. Did you think you'll? Do you think we'll win?
My season starts after the Man City game. So
Really? Is that what it's come down to now? Arsenal fans are trying to restart the season at the end of each game.
I mean,
Oh my
I
God.
see, beating Man City is gonna be as equivalent to me being sober for like 6 months. So you can understand what I mean. Like it will be it. I will start believing in God rather than like believing in Arsenal beating Man City. Like you can take some of the analogies out of it. I would believe I'm a virgin. Okay, that is another analogy that I can probably throw, or maybe we'll be invincible this season. That is something that you can think over we beating Man City. I gave 4 rigid analogies, but what I'm trying to say at the end of the day is if we beat Man City, it's going to be a miracle. So
Yeah.
I don't believe in that, and I don't think it's going to happen. But if we do that, like I'll be partying for the entire week. That is what I can say. I don't think we are beating Man City. I mean, Man City will have to be like they'll have to be as bad as Arsenal probably to lose to us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, listen, guys. I'm probably going to bring the show to a close.
Okay.
But I want to thank you guys for coming on. Obviously, Steve, I know you're backstage. But yeah, I am going to bring the show to a close. Like I said, normally
Thanks for having me
this.
on, Daniel.
No, absolutely, mate. Anytime. And like I say to you guys as well, that this review and fans phoning would normally be on the same day as the game, but because yesterday was just a bit of an insane, crazy day for me yesterday, I couldn't fit it in. But normally it'd be after the game. Obviously, the West Brom game, I'm not sure when I'm gonna fit the review and the fans phoning in, because I'm actually going to that game. So the likelihood I'll probably won't go home until 1 o'clock. So it might be another day after kind of review, kind of phoning like this. But the Man City one definitely will be on the same day. Even though I'm going to that one, I should be back in time to do that. But yeah, listen, guys. Thank you guys for coming on, and I really appreciate you. I know it's not easy when you come on, and if you're not used to it, I know it's not easy. So I know, Nitesh, you've got your own channel.
Yeah,
but,
it's my first time ever coming on. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
listen, I appreciate that.
This, so we didn't know how it
it's-
can turn out. But it's great. Yeah.
I enjoyed coming onto your channel after a long time. Probably need to work on those jokes, but definitely it was fun.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, listen, I appreciate you guys coming on. You know, it's much appreciated.
No problem, Daniel.
Yep,
Take care.
The feelings mutual.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Danny. Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
But yeah, listen, guys. So I will be back if I can find the. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. Yeah, so I'll be back on. When will I be back? Tomorrow at 7 p.m. with the daily stream. Obviously on Wednesday there will be no 7 p.m. daily stream because I'll be at the game. I'll be at the Hawthorn. So unless I can stream while I'm at the stadium, it ain't gonna happen. But there will be on Thursday, like I said, the fans phone in again. I'll do this. I might format it slightly different. And just have you come on one at a time, just so we can sort of keep the flow going a little bit better. But listen, I'll let you guys know that on Thursday. But yeah, listen, thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Appreciate you all as always. Do keep hitting that like button. Do keep hitting that subscribe button. And I will see you tomorrow.